We're with David Shapiro. David is a criminal defense lawyer in San Diego, California. He's agreed to answer online questions specifically related to Miranda warnings. With that said, David, the question that was posted, this was from Mary. Mary says, I was arrested for possession of marijuana. After the arrest, the police handcuffed me and drove me to jail. On the way, they asked me a bunch of questions. I answered them, and now they're saying I admitted being guilty. They never read me my Miranda warning. Can I get the case dismissed?
Okay, Mary, let's break this down by a couple of parts. The first is, you said you were arrested for possession of marijuana. And as far as Miranda warnings go, first off, there's a misconception out there that every time someone is arrested, they have to be read their Miranda rights. We see it on TV a lot, whether it's on a show like Cops or in a television program or the movies, what have you. First off, you do not need to be read your Miranda warnings every time you're arrested. The only time, and it happens frequently, but when Miranda and when the Miranda rights actually matter are in situations when you are alleged, similar in your situation, to have made statements that the prosecution is trying to introduce in its case against you. So, a lot of times people say, well, no one read me my Miranda rights. I want my case thrown out. Well, if you didn't say anything, if the prosecution is not trying to introduce your statements, then there's nothing to throw out because there's no rights that are being violated. Okay, another key component is even when people make statements, in order for Miranda to apply, in order for you to be read your rights, two things need to be in place. One is you need to be in custody, okay, and you need to be interrogated. Okay, so the first issue is you need to be in custody. Well, in your question, you said you were handcuffed. Well, that helps a lot because clearly and indisputably, you're in custody. You're not free to leave. Would a reasonable person under similar circumstances feel free to leave? You're handcuffed. Absolutely not. You don't need to be handcuffed, though, to be in custody. So, many times people are just detained or we're in a situation where they're not free to leave. And the first problem of are they in custody would likely apply. And therefore, we go to the second issue, which is, are you being interrogated? Okay, so you could be in custody, and I'm not sure whether or not law enforcement would believe or assert that you just blurted out an admission of guilt here, or were you actually under questioning while you were in custody? Sometimes people just blurt out answers to stuff or try and initiate conversations with the police. The next thing you know, they wind up admitting to things. They wouldn't necessarily be interrogated as what the common meaning of interrogation means and how that's applied to the law. So there's those factors as well. There's also the issue of what it is exactly that they're trying to introduce against you, because many times I see statements that my clients make that are actually self-serving, that might actually be beneficial. So why would we want to keep them out, even if there was a Miranda warning? And finally, that takes us to the issue of, well, does your whole case get dismissed? Assuming you're in custody, assuming you're being interrogated, and assuming you haven't been read your Miranda rights, and assuming that what you said is damaging to your case, therefore, we want to keep it out. The remedy to a Miranda violation is not an outright dismissal. Trust me, I wish it was. I know you do as well. I know that all my clients do. But the remedy would be that what we're trying to suppress is the statement that would be kept out of evidence. So many times cases go to trial and there's an issue with a Miranda violation. And just because we may win that motion doesn't mean the whole case goes away. All that means is that particular statement made while in custody, while under interrogation, without having their rights read to them, the prosecution can't use that in their case in chief. That's what that means. That's a remedy. So even if there was a Miranda violation, your entire case would not be dismissed, but it would be weakened considerably without your actual admission. And then you would still need to litigate and fight on why the drugs were found in the first place, where they were found, by who, under what circumstance. And I hope that answers your question.
Excellent. Thanks for the response. And if you have additional questions for David, just post them in the comments section below. Thanks for your time, David.
Yeah, my pleasure. And I can also be reached at my office at 619-295-3555. Thank you so much.